Fathers, how did your child change your life forever? My 4-year-old daughter Lily came home from preschool one Tuesday talking about her new friend Emma who lives in our basement. I laughed it off and said that sounds like a fun friend. Kids and their imaginary friends, right? Totally normal part of growing up. But then she started asking me really weird questions every single day. Daddy, why doesn't Emma have a bed like mine? Why doesn't Emma's mommy come pick her up from school? Why is Emma always so hungry and cold down there? Why doesn't she have any toys? I figured it was just part of her elaborate imaginary game. Kids create these incredibly detailed fantasy worlds all the time. My wife Sarah and I used to joke about how creative and imaginative Lily was getting with her storytelling. Then Lily started bringing Emma snacks from her lunchbox every single day without fail. Half her sandwich would disappear, her apple slices, her crackers, even her juice box would come home completely empty. I thought she was just eating everything herself and making up elaborate stories about sharing with her invisible friend. But when I picked her up from school one afternoon, her teacher, Mrs. Rodriguez, pulled me aside. She mentioned Lily had been asking for extra crackers and fruit during snack time every day. She said Lily told her she needed to save some food for her friend at home who doesn't get enough to eat and is always hungry. That really concerned me. Why would my daughter think her imaginary friend was starving? That night, Lily whispered to me before bed with tears in her eyes, "Daddy, Emma told me her mommy left her down there all alone and she's really scared. She only comes out to play when you and mommy aren't home because grown-ups make her hide. She said other grown-ups hurt her." My blood went completely cold. We don't have a basement. Our house is built on a concrete slab foundation. There is literally nowhere for anyone to be hiding downstairs in our home, but we do have a crawl space under the house that I never bothered to check. The next morning after dropping Lily at preschool, I grabbed my flashlight and work gloves and crawled under our house through the small access panel in our laundry room. I expected to find nothing but dust, spider webs, and maybe some old pink insulation. Instead, in the far corner behind our water heater, I found a makeshift bed made of old towels and a torn yellow blanket, empty food containers scattered everywhere, a small pink backpack with the name Emma written in purple crayon, a stuffed rabbit that looked like it hadn't been washed in weeks, children's clothes hanging from pipes. Someone had definitely been living under my house for who knows how long. I called 911 immediately with shaking hands. My voice was trembling as I explained what I had discovered. The empleadores desped stayed on the line with me while I waited outside for officers to arrive. When the police got there with flashlights and equipment, they found Emma curled up behind our water heater, scared but alive. She was 6 years old, way too tiny for her age, with matted brown hair and clothes that were several sizes too big for her small frame. Turns out Emma had been missing for 3 weeks from a town about 40 miles away. Her mom's dangerous ex-boyfriend had taken her during a custody dispute that went horribly wrong. He had been moving her from place to place, finally abandoning her under our house when the police investigation got too intense. The lead officer explained that Emma had been sneaking into our house through a loose vent cover in Lily's bedroom whenever my wife and I were both at work. She would play with Lily for a few hours, eat whatever food Lily generously shared, then disappear back into the dark crawl space before we returned home. Lily had been the only person who knew Emma existed. To a 4-year-old mind, it didn't seem strange that her friend lived downstairs and only played during certain times. She just accepted it completely and tried her best to take care of her new friend. When they reunited Emma with her real mom at the police station, I brought Lily to say goodbye properly. Emma looked at me with these huge brown eyes and said, "Thank you for sharing your daughter with me. She saved my life by being kind." The detective told us later that Emma probably would have died within days from dehydration and exposure if Lily hadn't been consistently feeding her and giving her juice boxes. My little girl didn't just have an imaginary friend. She had been keeping a missing child alive with her pure kindness without even knowing she was a hero. Sometimes kids see what adults completely miss.